Hello, beautiful ladies. How are you doing? It's Beverly here to have our coffee chat. So grab your coffee. Let's spend a few minutes together and talk about what our New Year's resolutions are for 2024, what our goals and objectives are for our body and for our lifestyle. So I'm sure most of you know me, but if you don't, I'm Beverly with Beverly Hills Health and Wellness Coaching. I'm the CEO of Beverly Hills Health and Wellness Coaching, and I'm also a certified health coach. So I help women to lean into a fabulous, confident, and sexy new vision of themselves through a holistic journey to age powerfully and step into a wonderful next level life. So we're going to have these coffee chats every week. I sent out a invite to everyone that's in our Facebook group, and this Facebook group supported my last training on menopause without meds. So that's the current name of the group, but it's going to be updated for 2024. So don't freak out when you see a new name. It's still me, still having the same conversation, but we're just upgrading for the new year. So one of the things that's so important for us as women is to identify what it is that we're missing in our lives to be able to serve ourselves at the highest and best level. Self-care is always at the top of the list, always. I posted a video yesterday. No, it was just a post. It wasn't a video. I changed my mind on the video. I did a post on self-care. You just never know what is happening internally in your body that can impact your health. So that's why self-care is so important. I know we use it as a buzzword. Self-care is like, oh, we're going to get our nails done. Well, that's a part of it, but there's so many levels. For somebody who maybe has never really leaned into self-care, putting themselves on the calendar to get a regular manicure and pedicure is a huge, big step for self-care. For me, it's a whole lot more. It's a whole lot more. But my journey is different. I have always been into taking care of myself as a woman, so the hair, the nails, and those sort of things. But actually, I pulled back a lot on that because as I've moved through this health and wellness journey, I found out how toxic some of these substances are. So like my nails, I need to go and just get a plain manicure. I used to have the really beautiful nails with the art on it and everything, and it served its purpose during that time, but now I'm in a phase where I want things to be natural and I want things to be with ease and with elegance. And I had a grandmother that was really into a French lifestyle, and she would always say, less is more. Less is more. And when you're coming up as, young girls, it's like, oh no, it's not. You have to be all that and just so much more. But now I understood the messaging because when she shared it, she was in a certain phase of her life, and now I'm in that phase of my life, so it so resonates and makes sense. So let's look back at our year and reflect on all of the wonderful things that we've done in supporting ourselves in that self-care phase, but let's roll it into 2024 and come up with things that we can do to prioritize another level of self-care. So for me, I've made a couple of notes here and I'm going to refer to them just to help you get started, because this is some of the processes that I had already gone through. So when you lean into 2024, let's figure out, what do you want this year to be about? Like, what is your gift? What is your purpose? What is your calling? And that's a big question. Take a sip of coffee on that one. And maybe you haven't taken a lot of time to really reflect on that. Maybe you need some resources. Maybe you need to talk to other women in your circle and maybe brainstorm around some things. So to actually get you started, I have a book here of someone that I know personally. This is Marshawn Evans Daniels. And I know her, and I know her husband, who is Jack Daniels. They work together as a couple and provide support for individuals in business. In addition, they have their own expertise. So I was so taken with Marshawn's story and how she had to reinvent herself and find out what her purpose was. She was living a rock star life. She was an attorney. She was in with a lot of media people, but something happened in her life and everything turned upside down. And she had to go back and figure out, like, where do I find who I am going forward? So I would encourage you to get this book, Believe Bigger. She's very religious, so there's some tones in there. So if you are a person that's in one particular camp, find the message. I mean, you don't really have to be in a position that's repelled by something specific. There's nuggets of information depending on what camp a person is from, Democrat, Republic, black and white. Like, there's always something that you can glean from it. So look at that as a resource. And I'd love for you to come back and like talk about or put some comments in the Facebook group about what your purpose is. So I'm going to share a couple of thoughts that I had around purpose, and they're not related to her book, but they may be found in her book. I'm actually still reading her book. She is a phenomenal woman, and I would encourage, it is part of my morning rituals. I have a couple of different books that I read, and this one I go back and forth and read different sections on it. She's a very good writer, and her experience really shines through so eloquently. So I encourage you to get that. But again, the first one, and I'm going back to how this got started, is like the self-care. Looking back over the year, what have you done for yourself? What are the things that you accomplished? Like, this reflection period is so important because you can assess and then you can have a clearer opportunity to define what you want going forward in 2024. A big thing as we women over 40, moving into the best time of our lives, it is filled with so much change. So you have to be in a place that you can move with change and not resist change, not fight change, not be in a position that you're holding firm and can't make that shift. If you think about a tree, I make a lot of references to nature. I love being out in nature. I think if you just take some time and be in nature, you get so much clarity. If you just look around at nature, it provides answers to so many things. You know, the birds, they don't worry about anything. They're always able to get what they need for themselves. I think about trees when you think about change. I'm in the DC metro area, and we have a lot of areas that are dated back hundreds of years, and there are these trees that are towering so many feet, and the girth is so wide, and they've stood the test of time for many, many years. And then there's those that didn't. And the way that those trees have been able to sustain themselves is that when the winds came or the storms came or when the snow came, they were able to adjust to whatever the environment was. I remember I saw a windstorm and these trees were leaning so far to the left and to the right, they looked like they were going to snap. But they sustained their stature. They were able to bend and move with the winds that were brought in that day, that force. So that's what you have to think about as you're going through life, and things look different from year to year. And we're not averse to that no matter who you are. I have change that I go through. I personally have spent my entire life, I feel like, around change. I've hopped around on military assignments with my family from place to place to place to place to place. So I had to adapt to change. That was over 20 years of my life, just adapting to change. And then you bring in children, and then you have spouses and that responsibility, and then you have communities that you're involved with. So there's always something that you have to adapt to and change. And not saying that it's always easy. There are some things that you can go through in life and you feel like, you know what, this one is too much. But there is purpose behind it. There is some character building. There is an opportunity to find a message in that. And when you get on the other side of that, you're even bigger and better than you were before you went through it. This life is a journey. It's all about change. Okay, so I hope that's received. Just know you're not alone. We're all going through change. I mean, our bodies are changing. We're aging. You know, it's all about change. But it's like, what is the perspective you're going to be able to join in with this process instead of retreating? My motto, burn the boats. Burn the boats, we're not going back. That goes back to some general's reference of his troops when they were storming some location. And the military members could not retreat. Once they got on shore, the command was to burn the boats. And that's my philosophy, burn the boats. There's no way back. There's no going back. So I hope that's helpful. Another thing that I would say is look at what you had as your dreams when you were a child, when you were young. What sparked so much excitement in your playtime? What were the things that came up when you were during your dreams? There's a message in that you can pull forward and look at your life and see, well, this is still there. I might need to visit that. This is part of identifying what your purpose is. So I have a dream ever since I was probably like 8 or 9 years old. I have that dream deeply seated in my psyche, and I will never let it go. I've achieved a lot of things close to it, but it's big. It's big. And I will hold that dream, and I keep moving forward to that dream because I feel that it's deposited in my soul for a reason. And this dream is an opportunity to serve many. And I feel like what I'm doing here, when I'm talking to the ladies in the community and those that I've coached, I am stepping into that purpose of teaching and supporting, but I want to do that globally. So that's a little share on mine. And I'll share just a couple more because I don't want these to be too lengthy because we don't want our coffee to get cold, okay? This is important. Get in a community with like-minded people. When you figure out what that is, or you're trying to develop what that is for you, that passion, that purpose, get in a circle with people that think like that. Get in a circle with people who have that mindset. That is so key, so crucial, because sometimes people don't understand what your gift is, and you can't bring them along. You just have to honor that and move in a circle with those who are unfolding step by step a process of how to get to what this is you're supposed to be doing in your purpose. And I have to say, the women that I know over these years that I've been in business have been game changers in my life, and they inspire me They are so led by their heart in serving women. They are making the money to be able to make an impact in the economy. Like, I'm all in, sign me up. That's what I enjoy. The woman who owns her power and leans into it and makes a difference in this world unapologetically, and they are unstoppable. That's all I can say. That's so inspiring to me. And I will close with give back. I start my mornings very intentionally. I have my Zen time, which is my meditation, my quiet, my deep breathing exercises, and then I find some time to do my reading, like I showed you in one of the books that I'm working through, Believe Bigger. Also, I have like 2 notebooks. One of them is for gratitude. I just jot a couple things that I'm grateful for. So what I would encourage you to do is find a way to serve and to give back somewhere. I don't think that there's like, oh, I'm going to go into this particular organization and I'm going to provide a check or support financially and then step back and I can check the box. Well, that's really great when you have the monetary ability to support financially, but it's something about giving your time to serve, to be there, to support people on their journey. And I feel sometimes when I'm here talking to you, I don't know who's here, thank you for supporting me and being here and being a part of the conversation, but I just feel like I connect with the heart of some women who possibly are struggling in silence, and they showed up here, and I can tap into that and I can serve them and I can try to support them and I can provide maybe some insight. That's one of the bonuses about being in a place where you've lived life and you can reflect on many decades of your experiences, lessons that you've learned, and you can share and help somebody else who may be in a situation and they need some support. So find a way to give back. It's one of those things that just releases so much good hormonal, feel good emotions that you just can't buy that. That's why philanthropy is such a big thing. There's these people on these platforms and they're giving up their time and they're giving up their money. And like Oprah comes to mind, like she can write checks for just about anything you want to, but she shows up and she's a part and she's the face and she's doing. So find a way to give back and it will serve you in so many ways. So with that, ladies, I'm going to close out our coffee chat. For those who were able to join, I appreciate it. For those who catching the replay, drop a comment and let me know what your thoughts are. As we go through these coffee chats, I would love to make sure I'm tapping into something that's of interest to you. And until next time, enjoy your coffee and have a lovely day. Take care. Bye, ladies.